Neighbors say they're shocked after two crimes hit their Buckhead neighborhood. Atlanta police say on Saturday they found a man with a gunshot wound on West Wesley Road. Investigators say the man and two others were shot at while jogging. Hours later on Saturday, Atlanta police responded to the Collier Ridge apartment complex. Police say they found a man who was severely injured on scene.
He did, in fact, strike a individual that was taking out the trash.
Atlanta police say they arrested the suspect shortly after that crime. Now investigators are working to figure out a possible motive.
The man who was shot jogging on Saturday is called Andrew Worrell. You should know there's no backstory here. He didn't know the guy who shot him. He wasn't doing anything. He was just jogging on the weekend like a good citizen. And a guy pulled up and opened fire. Why? His 911 call is difficult to listen to, but you should listen to it just so you can understand precisely what Keisha Bonhams has done to Buckhead. Here's the call.
Hello, caller.
1211 West Wesley.
Is this a house apartment or a place of business?
I'm on the street, 1211 West Wesley. I got shot.
Is the assailant still nearby?
No, I didn't know. He drove away.
Okay. And is there any serious bleeding?
Yes, I'm bleeding. I've been shot.
And he was shot twice. Something similar happened to a woman called Valerie Casper on a trail in Brookhaven right near Buckhead. She was stabbed 4 times in the back by a total stranger in broad daylight as she was walking on a trail. Casper was pregnant with her second child at the time. She was forced to deliver her baby more than 3 months early because she was stabbed by a stranger. Why was she stabbed? Why was Andrew Worrell shot? These weren't robberies. The only point was physical injury, was terror, was brutality. The victims appear to have been chosen purely for how they look. But don't call these hate crimes. It's not allowed. You can't say that. Privately, though, many people in Buckhead suspect that's exactly what's going on. They've been attacked by reckless politicians for years. Politicians have ginned up hatred of Buckhead for political reasons. So why wouldn't others take them seriously? Why wouldn't shootings and stabbings be the end result of that? Some people in Buckhead have had enough of this. They don't think it's going to get better. 2 bills currently in the Georgia State Legislature would allow Buckhead to leave the city of Atlanta, then run its own competent police department and resume being a safe, nice place. CNN, for one, hates this idea. CNN is headquarters in Atlanta and has been for 40 years. They know exactly what's going on in the city. They don't care. You don't like getting shot while jogging? Well, then you're a racist.
The mostly white neighborhood of Buckhead is pushing to separate from the rest of the city. CNN's Ryan Young has more from Atlanta.
The Buckhead Exploratory Committee reports they've raised over $500,000 and is now pushing state lawmakers to push through a bill that would allow their cityhood petition to be voted on in the next election. The predominantly white neighborhoods movement is gaining traction with Republican lawmakers.
Oh, you following this? Did you get the dog whistles? Mostly white, predominantly white. Got it? So if you're opposed to getting murdered outside Cheesecake Factory, you're a white supremacist. They always say that. Here's the funny thing. They don't mean it. How do we know they don't mean it? Take a look at how they live. How many CNN anchors, including the ones you just saw, have weekend homes anywhere near Section 8 housing? Let's see. We'll check our notes here. Right around 0. In fact, not 1. Instead, they run to Martha's Vineyard, or they charter helicopters to fly to the Hamptons on Friday afternoon. In other words, in their spare time, they get as far away from diversity as they possibly can. Not just some of them, all of them, every one of them. That's the truest generalization ever made. A recent piece, to put a finer point on it, in the New York Post, describes how many rich liberals from New York have flooded into the poor, unsuspecting state of Montana. Bill Gates has been camping out in Big Sky recently. A lot of them have. Why? It's not the fly fishing. Bill Gates couldn't cast a fly rod if his fortune depended on it. No, it's not that. The appeal is the monochromatic neighbors. Outside of the Indian reservations, Montana has the demographics of 1956 America. Everyone looks the same. It is not a melting pot. So no, rich liberals don't actually believe that diversity is our strength. They hate it so much that the first sign of spray paint, they run for the whitest hills they can find. Then they lecture you some more about how you're the racist because you don't like getting shot outside Cheesecake Factory. That's how it works. Bill White no longer cares what they say. Bill White lives in Buckhead. He plans to stay there. He's not hiding in Montana with Bill Gates. Instead, he's leading the effort to make his neighborhood independent of a city that's falling apart. Bill White joins us tonight. Bill, thanks so much for coming on, for being brave enough to do that. Tell us what Buckhead is like now and why you think it should be independent from the city.
Well, first of all, thank you, Tucker, for having us on. And I was listening to your opening monologue, and I can tell you we're going to need to have you come down here and take you on the road with us because you've hit all the key points. We are living in a war zone. That's how we describe living in Buckhead. And what has happened here in the last several years is an incredibly dangerous spike in crime and a complete vacuum of leadership. The police in Atlanta are great policemen and women. We love them. They just want to do their job, and they're not being allowed to do that. So Buckhead and the beautiful families, a very diverse community. We, in fact, are the most diverse community in all of Atlanta. We have decided to file for divorce, and the divorce is final. And what we are saying to the city of Atlanta is we are going to form our own city. We have 2 bills in the state legislature. We've raised the requisite amount of money we need right now to move this forward. There'll be a ballot initiative on the ballot next November. And we are going to take our city back for the great families of Buckhead once and for all. Some of the people ask us, what are we going to do differently, Tucker, right? How is a Buckhead City Police Department going to do anything differently? And I think your great team, I sent a video in, and I don't know if there's time to show it, but this video is horrifying. It shows a white car driving past a Mercedes-Benz truck.
Yep, we got it on the screen right now.
Okay, they're shooting out of the car at these helpless passersby on Far Road. And they're shooting, and they're shooting. One of the bullets comes right through the truck and hits one of the people walking. And you can see as the car drives by, there's 2 blue lights shimmering off of that reflection on the truck. You know what those are? Those are 2 Atlanta police officers in marked cars with their lights on. And my friend who took that video ran down to find out why, in God's name, they didn't chase that person who attempted to murder all those people. And they were told that Mayor Bottoms issued an order not to chase cars around Atlanta because she doesn't want the police getting in accidents. All those people shot. 2 police right there wanted to go do service and put the smackdown on that attempted murderer. They did call an ambulance, and they rendered help at the scene.
Yeah, but I mean, so why should you have to live? I mean, the same people who lecture us day in and day out about democracy, which is, if I can just remind them, self-government, the right to control your own government, those people are now suggesting that you don't have a right or you're immoral not to want to live under people like Keisha Bottoms, who should be ashamed of herself.
Yes.
How does that work?
Tucker, that all those, we're racist or this, that, and the other thing, that is all hateful, very disturbing, unhelpful language that's fear-mongering, and it certainly will not stop the crime in Buckhead. What's going to stop the crime is the establishment of the Buckhead City Police Department.
That's right.
We plan on having 300 police officers for a prolonged period of time. There are only 82 cops on the beat in Buckhead right now, the square footage of San Francisco that has 2,000 cops. So one of the things we're positive of is we're going to put the smackdown on crime once and for all, and we're going to make Buckhead a great place to live again, where you can go to the mall and not get shot taking a jog. This poor woman you had on, Eliana Elovich, Tucker, she's a saint. She's so courageous. She's a pediatric nurse. Yep. And they punched her in the face, and the guy was out on 3 different batteries.
So what you're doing is a model, I think, for the rest of the country. People don't have to put up with this. This is not political. It's not racial. It's about wanting to not be shot at the mall. And every American has a right to want that and work for it, I think. Bill, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, Tucker. God bless you, sir.